Hello, beautiful people. It's Lulu. Today's summer superfood is self-permission. And if you've been waiting for someone else to give you the green light, to rest, to say no, to change your mind, or to want what you want, this episode is your wake-up call. Do you remember those permission slips from school? The ones your parents had to sign for you so you could go on field trips, skip class for the dentist, or do anything remotely fun during school hours. Have you considered that perhaps you've been waiting for permission slips for a lot of your adult life? Permission to rest without feeling guilty. Permission to say no without explaining yourself. Permission to want what you want without justifying it to anyone. Permission to accept yourself just as you are right now. Well, you're the parent now. You are the one with the pen. And you may have been waiting for someone else to sign off on your life when the signature you need is your own. Today we're talking about the permission slip you've been waiting for, the one that says you're allowed to live your life on your own terms, because the only approval you need is the approval you give yourself. This is the final episode of our Summer Superfood Series. And today's superfood, self-permission, is the most powerful ingredient you can add to your life. I want to invite you to give someone else permission to hear this by sharing this episode. There is someone in your life who needs to remember they hold their own pen. Let's look at some of the permission slips most of us are secretly hoping someone else will hand us. Permission slip number 1. To rest without earning it. I give you permission to rest without having been productive enough for you to justify it to yourself. You may rest because you're human, not because you've checked off every box on your to-do list. How many of us are waiting for someone to tell us it's okay to be tired and need rest? That we're allowed to need a break, even if we haven't been productive enough. Rest isn't a reward for productivity. It is a basic human need. And this is something I need to work on myself, because I am so conditioned to believe that rest is earned through hard work and productivity. Let's look at permission slip number 2. To say no without explanation. I give you permission to decline invitations, requests, obligations without providing a detailed explanation or apology. No is a complete sentence. We've been trained to believe that saying no requires a dissertation on why we can't, shouldn't, or don't want to do something. But you don't owe anyone reasons for protecting your time and energy. The third permission slip, to change your mind. I give you permission to evolve, to grow, to want different things than you wanted before. You may change direction without calling yourself a failure or a quitter. How many dreams are we not pursuing because we're afraid of what people will think if we change course? As if wanting something different makes us flaky instead of human. There's this pervasive belief that we need to stick to things. And while I firmly believe in consistency, commitment, and putting in the reps and not just giving up when things get rough, this is different, and we should not confuse the two. What I am talking about here is giving yourself permission to change your mind, to decide that you want something different than a few months or a few years ago. I'll share something very personal with you that I have not really spoken about beyond my very near and dear. When I left Hong Kong to come to the US, I was planning on adopting a child. I had identified the adoption agency. I had been screened and interviewed by them. I was all set to start the process once I settled in the US. The adoption agency were the first people I called when I arrived. I made this announcement to my entire family and my very close friends. It was a huge deal for me. As life here started to unfold, within the first couple of months, I realized this decision was not right for me for so many reasons. But I had told my family, the adoption agency was counting on me, and still it felt really, really hard, and I was fearful of the judgment, the criticism I'd face. But I gave myself permission to change my mind, and it was the best thing I could have done given my circumstances. Permission slip number 4, to disappoint people. I give you permission to live in a way that might disappoint others. You may prioritize your own values and needs, even when it directly conflicts with what others expect from you. This might be the hardest one. We're so afraid of disappointing people that we often disappoint ourselves instead. And my adoption example fits in here perfectly. But you weren't put on this earth to live up to everyone else's expectations. And I know this is easier said than done because it runs deep. And many of us have been taught, perhaps inadvertently, to be people pleasers and to care deeply what other people think. And especially for women, we are often not allowed to disappoint others. The 5th permission slip, to want what you want. I give you permission to desire things that might seem selfish, impractical, crazy, wild, weird, just plain nonsensical, or different from what others want for you. Your wants are valid simply because they're yours. We spend so much energy justifying our desires or convincing ourselves we shouldn't want what we want. But your wants aren't subject to committee approval. Your soul, your heart knows. And if that want comes from within, follow it. Allow it. It won't lead you astray. And if it does, you will have learned something invaluable along the way. So why are we as grown adults still looking for someone else to sign our permission slips? Let's look at a few reasons. The first one, we've learned that approval equals safety. As kids, getting permission kept us safe and out of trouble. But we carried this into adulthood, where we're still looking for external validation to feel secure in our choices. Many of us have lost the ability to trust ourselves. A possible second reason, we're afraid of being selfish. Again, especially if you're a woman, you've been taught that putting yourself first is selfish. But there's a difference between being selfish and having a self. You can care about others and honor your own needs at the same time. A third reason: we mistake people-pleasing for kindness. We think being nice means never disappointing anyone, never saying no, never putting our own needs first. But chronic people-pleasing isn't kindness. It's self-abandonment dressed up as virtue. I really want you to hear me on this. Chronic people-pleasing is not kindness. It is self-abandonment, masquerading as virtue. A possible fourth reason: we're terrified of judgment. We'd rather wait for someone else to give us permission than risk being judged for making our own choices. But here's the truth: some people will judge you no matter what you do. You may as well get judged for being yourself. When I finally stopped waiting for someone else's permission slip, I realized that the person whose approval I was really seeking was my own. I was waiting for myself to believe I deserved the things I wanted. Remember our joy thievery from episode 33? Sometimes we are waiting for permission to even want joy. That permission slip you're waiting for, it's not coming from your boss, your partner, your parents, your friends, your family, your mentor, your therapist, or society. It's coming from you. And the beautiful, terrifying truth is that you can write it anytime you want. Ready to become your own permission slip writer? Well, here's how. Step 1, identify what you're waiting for. What are you not doing because you're waiting for permission? What are you not saying because you're waiting for approval? What are you waiting for because you're waiting for someone else's validation? Step 2, write it down. Literally write yourself a permission slip. I give myself permission to, and fill in the blank. Something about putting it in writing makes it feel official, legitimate, and real. Also, it gets it out of your head and onto the page, and there is power when it's on the page. Step 3, sign your signature, the only one that matters. You're not signing as someone's daughter, employee, or partner. You're signing as yourself, the person who gets to decide how you live your life. And the fourth step, honor it. This is the hardest and most challenging part, especially in the beginning. Actually living like you have permission instead of continuing to wait for external validation. It takes practice to trust your own authority over your life. Here's a sample permission slip just to get you started. I give myself permission to live according to my own values, even when others don't understand or approve. I give myself permission to prioritize my well-being without feeling guilty. I give myself permission to change my mind, to grow, to want different things without justifying these changes to anyone. I give myself permission to disappoint people in service of being true to myself. The beautiful thing about writing your own permission slip is that you'll never run out of paper. You can give yourself permission as many times as you need to. The example I gave you is very broad, and it is meant to just get you started. But the more specific you can be, the better. once you identify what it is you are waiting for. Beautiful people, the permission you've been waiting for isn't coming from outside you. It's coming from within. You don't need anyone else's approval to rest when you're tired, to say no when you mean no, to want what you want, or to live according to your own values. And you never did. The only signature that matters is yours. The only approval you need is your own. The only permission slip that counts is the one you write yourself. So your summer invitation is this. Write yourself one permission slip this week. Make it specific to something you've been waiting to do, say, or want. Sign it. Put it somewhere where you will see it daily, but most importantly, honor it. And remember, you are honoring it for you. This week's superfood was self-permission, because the most nourishing thing you can give yourself is the freedom to be yourself. Over these 4 episodes, we've explored confidence without the BS, stealing back your joy, trusting your body's wisdom, and now writing your own permission slips. These aren't just summer superfoods. They're year-round tools for living more freely, more honestly, and more joyfully. Share this episode with someone who needs permission to give themselves permission. Please take a moment to share. And as always, what comes from the heart reaches the heart. And today, with full permission to be exactly as you are, this comes straight from my heart to yours.